My dear friend, do you want to discover the one principle that literally every single successful person followed? This is actually the reason why successful people are successful. And I actually discovered this principle by looking back at my own achievements and realizing that every single time I achieved something, like building my dream physique, like breaking free from old bad habits, like building many new and good ones, like building mental toughness, discipline, like building this, this YouTube channel, as small as it might be, but I'm fucking happy to be able to help you and many other young men actually experience their full potential, even improving my relationships and things like that. Every single time I have actually achieved something in my life, as small as it might have been, I've seen that I followed this one simple principle. And so I want to ask you something. What do you actually want? Like personally, I can tell you that I want to feel like at peace with myself, to have deep inner peace and happiness, to have good relationships, be, healthy mentally and physically, and be happy with what I'm doing, like be financially free also, so that I can do and basically work on whatever I want and basically feel fulfilled with my work. So those are things that I would see as being successful. And maybe for you, they are quite similar, maybe they're very different. But I want to ask you something. In regards to those things that you feel like being success, what do most people do? Most people, for example, are very unhealthy mentally and physically. They do nothing about their health. They eat like shit, they sleep like shit, they don't work out, they do nothing, they sit on their couch all day long. Mentally, they never really, think about their thoughts or reflect about things or observe themselves or work on their mental health. What about financial freedom? Most people, just work a 9 to 5. They hate to do something that they really hate all day long, waste so much of their time. And by doing that, they even get paid very little. What about, inner peace? Most people don't even know what it is and never really start thinking about what makes them feel at peace. And they don't realize that they have, control over the inner state. What about their relationships? Most people have toxic, shitty relationships and do nothing about it. What I've personally seen is that the one principle I just needed to follow that got me to achieve all the things I've achieved so far was to do the opposite of what most people were doing. Like, think about it. This is actually the reason why successful people are successful. It doesn't matter in what field of life. When someone is successful, he basically gets way ahead most people. It is because he's doing what most people are not doing. And so this is the principle of this video. If you want to get what they get, just do what they do. If you don't want to get what they get, you want to get something else, don't do what they fucking do. So it's literally as simple as that. You literally just do the opposite of what most people are doing. And to basically put this video into practice, I would highly recommend you to do a few things. First of all, define what you actually want. If you don't know what you want, you won't be able to achieve it. It's literally as simple as that. So start asking yourself, what does success look like for me? Because it doesn't make a lot of sense to follow other people's success if that is not what you want to achieve, right? The second thing I would recommend you to do is to ask yourself at what point most people are at in that specific thing. Maybe it is building your dream physique, becoming, amazing in a sport or whatever other thing that you want to achieve. Where are other people at? What's their point? Like, are they near that goal of yours? Are they far away? Now, the third thing I want to ask yourself is, what do most people do about it? Exactly, write down all the thoughts, all the beliefs, all the actions that most people have about that one thing. And then start defining them in the opposite way. So if most people just sit on the couch all day long, move all day long, be standing all day long. If most people eat shit all day long, make sure you eat amazingly well all day long. If most people, don't prioritize their sleep, prioritize your sleep. If, for example, you want to build your dream physique, right? And then I want to share with you a few questions that I actually discovered a few days ago when I was reading again the 4-Hour Work Week. I've been thinking about making this video since a few weeks now because I was really looking back at the things I had achieved, and I realized, bro, this principle is so fucking amazing. Every single time I did the opposite of what most people did, I ended up improving my life. And so a few days ago, I started rereading the 4-Hour Work Week, and here again I got the confirmation of it. Literally, he says in one of his first chapters, change the rules. Everything which is popular is wrong. And then at the end of this chapter, he gives some really good questions that I'm going to read to you that I'm sure are going to help you out if you fear exiting your comfort zone, because you probably know what has to be done. But most people fear, getting outside of their comfort zone because they prefer staying in what feels safe. Even though most people feel shitty in their own comfort zone, they prefer staying in a shitty, safe zone than in an unsure, zone where they do not really know what's going on. They might have some really nice achievements, but they might also have, some downsides. And so this exercise actually helped me a lot. And so I want to share it with you because it really gets you to eliminate your fears. Because right now you might have, if you follow the 4 steps, you might have realized, okay, what needs to be done? But then you might still have some fear. It's normal. Everyone fears getting outside of their comfort zone. I don't know exactly where it is wired in our brain that we prefer staying in a shitty comfort zone than having the possibility to feel amazing but outside of our comfort zone. I don't know why that is the case, but these questions will help you to make that step, to basically do the step number 5, which is actually taking action. And so here they are. Question number 1. It's actually not questions, it's actionable steps. Define your worst case scenario. What is the absolutely worst thing that could happen when you do what you want to do? Second question, what things could you do to basically eliminate that downside, or at least be able to get back at your starting point if things go wrong? Third question, what are the effects, it doesn't matter if they're short-term effects or long-term effects, on your life that would happen if one of the more likely scenarios would actually come true? Fourth question, let's say that you would lose your job or whatever other source of income you have right now. What could you do to take back control of your financial life and basically be able to survive if that happens? Fifth question, what are you procrastinating because of fear? Sixth question, how much does it cost you, emotionally, physically, financially, to basically be procrastinating this thing that you want to be doing? And seventh question, what the fuck are you waiting for? Bro, these questions help me a lot because even when we know what needs to be done, right? You've basically defined what you wanted. You have seen what other people are doing and what they're getting by doing those things. You've basically defined also the opposite, so what you would need to do to get to your goals. And now you still have some fear very often. These questions help me a lot to basically push through that fear, because very often when we actually are there not really having defined the worst case scenario, we're there thinking that it is such a big thing, a thing that we cannot really, bear. But when you actually define it and realize the cost that we actually have if that worst case scenario happens, what probably will happen and what that would basically make us get, and what actually happens if we don't do anything. That really helped me out to take many actions. For example, starting this YouTube channel about 1.5 years ago. And so it's really powerful. Really hope these questions will help you out as much as they did for me. But remember the simple principle of this video. Just do the opposite of what everyone is doing, and you will very probably not be doing many mistakes. Anyways, really hope this video helped you out. If it did, and if you liked it, make sure to leave a like and to subscribe. Do not miss on my future ones. Wish you all the best, bro, and see you very soon. Ciao.